Ms. Karen Davis, thank you so much for accepting our request for this interview.
You're welcome.
Before we get to all the questions, I just want to congratulate you for 35th anniversary of the star-studded Mill Valley Film Festival.
Thank you very much. I've been with the festival not all 35 years, like some of my colleagues, Mark Fishkin, our founder and director, and Zoe Elton, our director of programming, but I have been with the festival more than 10 years, so I know a little bit of the history.
So this is the 35th anniversary. What is the significant about this festival than the previous ones?
Well, it's a marking point. 35 years. We've seen at least 3 generations of filmmakers come up, and we are, in this special year, honoring many of them with tributes and awards, and some awards that are given to well-deserving people who didn't get an award before, but who have been with us, in the past. So we're actually honoring our past by bringing back some others who've had films here, and those we've always wanted to bring here. We also are distinguished, I think, this year by a very strong selection of North African, including Iranian and Middle Eastern films that I think perhaps our audiences will be very interested in, as they have been in the past.
So how many film and from how many countries is being to show?
We have about 40 countries represented in over 100 film programs. So it's a lot.
Mill Valley Film Festival is one of the 10 top festivals in the country in a very small town. It's a huge festival. Mm-hmm. And how many guests you're expecting? I know we have some appearance every year from celebrities from the film industry. Who are you expecting this year?
We're going to have probably well over 100 guests from most of those countries, actually. But we don't ignore our local filmmakers as well. We tribute and honor them as well. Among the special highlights, we are featuring a tribute to Dustin Hoffman, and we've taken a look at his long body of work. And a gentleman who's in his 70s now, he has just directed his very first film, so we're very excited to present Quartet, his very first film.
As long as I remember, every year you were showing a few Iranian films from Iranian filmmakers. Mm-hmm. What we are expecting to see this year?
Well, this year we're really, really excited about the world premiere of a film called The Sinners. And some of you and your audience might know the director, whose career has been made as a very distinguished actor, Faramarz Gharabian.
Yes.
And this is a film that came to us by his son, who produced it, Sam. Sam is living in Los Angeles, as a large part of the Iranian expatriate community is, as we know, and submitted a film to us that we had not heard about before. But of course Faramarz is well known alongside Vossoughi and classic films like Kimai's film The Deer, and he goes way back in the history of Iranian cinema. So we're honored to show something that Faramarz, not only that Mr. Gharabian has directed and acted in. His co-star is also familiar to the international audience, and that is Mr. Ershadi Homayoun, who many people know and love, as we do, from his work with Kiarostami, particularly in The Taste of Cherry. So, unfortunately, Mr. Ershadi was just in the area and was unable to extend his stay a little bit longer, but he sends his regards, and he really wanted to be there, to be alongside his friend, Mr. Gharabian, for the world premiere of The Sinners. And that's a film that I would describe as kind of a Hitchcock-influenced film noir, or the French word would be a policier. It's a police-based thriller about a young woman who has been living in America, comes back to Tehran, and turns up dead Now, who is her killer? There are many people who have reasons to kill her, and we find out more about her in examining the crime and the reasons for the crime. There's lots of surprises as well. It's a really good film. So that's one.
Great. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
And then, of course, speaking of Abbas Kiarostami, we're also going to be showing a production that he did in Europe called Like Someone in Love. And this is a French-Japanese production with an all-Japanese cast. And it's a film that shows Kiarostami is always expanding, always exploring his style, his work style. In this film, he is echoing the work of a great Japanese director who's since passed, Yasujiro Ozu. If you know the works of Ozu, they are very contemplative family dramas. Kiarostami, he modernizes the work of Ozu in a film about a young student who sidelines as an escort. One of her customers, you might say, is an older professor. And so the relationship between these two is quite complex, and with an all-Japanese cast, it just shows, once again, Kiarostami is full of surprises. So that film, once again, is called Like Someone in Love. So those would be the two main Iranian representation, at the festival.
What is the criteria to pick the film? How do you do that? Are you traveling to the different festival or different countries to pick them up, or they submit their movie and then you just watch it?
I'm going to say yes to both. So you had asked how the films come to us. We have our programming staff. It may be small, but we're pretty far-ranging, and some of us go to Berlin. My colleague Janice Plotkin goes to Berlin Festival every year and sees new work that hasn't appeared in the United States yet. And Zoe Elton will run the range from festivals like the Faj Festival in Iran to FESPACO in Ouagadougou every few years. And of course some of the best films that our audiences are excited about have premiered at the Cannes Festival. So we have some of our staff going to Cannes Festival every year to pick up films you wouldn't be able to see elsewhere. And then some of the more interesting domestic festivals, for example, Sundance. We have people covering Sundance as well. So that's how some of the films come to us. Others are sent by the filmmakers themselves. And some of them are real winners, like The Sinners is one of those winners, let's say. We had not heard of it and would not have heard of it because it doesn't have commercial distribution either in the United States or in Iran as well. And then there are ones that we are always following. We're doing research on the web and we're wondering what's the new work by a filmmaker like Kiarostami, what's the new work, and writing to the distributor or the producer to try to see this new work even before any other festival gets it. So that's the three parts of our work. But you also asked how we select, and I would say the film has to really move us. It has to speak to us. It has to spark something that we think in us as programmers, that we think provokes conversation, dialogue, expansion of the visual language of film, and expansion of subject matter, the content, certain subjects that need to be brought to light and that are discussed beautifully, often very frankly, in film. So we're looking at the form and the content, and if it moves us, chances are we have a feeling it will probably move a good share of our audience.
Mill Valley Film Festival is started 35 years ago, and I'm sure they had some kind of set policy, what kind of film they're going to show, what theme is going to be. Is this continuously from 35 years you're doing the same thing? The type of films you're picking are same, or can change in this 35
As far
years?
as the themes go for the festival, we never impose a theme on the festival. we look at the work, and this year, for instance, a lot of very strong work from Latin America came to us. And we also sought it out. Zoe Elton traveled to Guadalajara to a large film festival in Mexico and brought back some interesting young independent work. And so we found that all of us were looking at fabulous films from different countries. I encountered a film from Chile, unlike any other that I had seen, called Thursday Till Sunday. And Zoe had found some Mexican films. One is called The Richness of Internal Space. Janice Plotkin found a film, Aquí y Allá, Here and There. And altogether, our Latin American selection was shaping up as a strong component, and we thought, there's a theme here. There's a theme of immigration, there's a theme of crossing the border here, and that's not only in the Latin American focus, but that is how one of the themes and one of the focuses emerged, let's say, organically. But this theme of immigration also appears in some of the films from other regions as well, including North Africa, Middle East. So that's how the themes come. They bubble up from the ground.
Great. Thank you very much, Karen, for this time you gave us, and good luck with the anniversary festival. This is a very important festival for you guys, and I know it's going to be great.
Great. We look forward to seeing you there and having your audience check out these films. www.mvff.com for millvalleyfilmfestival.com. So worldwide, that's where you can find us. Thanks so much.
Sure.